Okay, gotta go to work and uh, gotta start, seriously getting ready for work in an hour. But I work as a tour guide at Hiram College. If you want a tour from me, schedule one like Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday morning. You'll probably get me. Um, but I wanted to talk. I'm just gonna do like a 15-minute thing. I'm trying to do a 15-minute thing about This is gonna be a technical video. I'm gonna try to explain. I rarely try to explain this to people, um, but I'm gonna try today. The whole number system thing. That if you watch my OCD video, which is hard to watch because of the stupid echo, I might remake it one day. Um, then you'll know a bit about this, but I didn't really go in depth into how it works, so we're gonna do that today. So I'm probably just gonna like write some rules and stuff. So five is I like the space there. Good. Five represents God. Uh, lowercase. Because it's I don't know if I should do upper or lowercase, which is kind of like a oneness. Because five also equals one. Uh, um, and these are also equal to zero, kind of. Um, five is complete. Um, five is calming. These are what five is. So the goal. Um, keep the world uh, at five, aka one, aka zero, aka oneness. If the world is at five, then everything is like contained, everything is safe, everything is happy, you know. Um, so basically, there's like a constant counter since the beginning of time um, when I was born. That may as well be the beginning of time, right? Um, and basically, this counter counts things like what does it count things? This it must be a very like must be profound things like maybe births and deaths and stuff. No, it counts things like letters slash words that I'm looking at hearing. Um, it looks at I uh, and then mostly m- uh, like fine motor movements, like like little movements of my fingers, or like fine motor movements, breathing patterns, um, that kind of thing of myself. And I mean these are the main ones. Um, it also makes sure that let's see if we can make this. No, I can't do that. Okay, I know what to do. Because I want this to, it's got to be readable. Got to be. This is important stuff. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. Got a little bit of that G, but that's okay. There we go. And then get a new text box. Can be like from like here. There we go. Also, keeps track of rules that I am supposed to follow. So these rules can be stuff like driving rules. Um, like I have very specific rules for taking a shower. Um, I have like I have rules for too many things. I have so it's kind of difficult to think of like specific ones because it's like I don't know, like for yeah, also like I mentioned in my acro video, like when I'm allowed to sit at a bench when like okay, no, I don't need to add that. So these are the types of things that I have rules about. If and then it's kind of like a rule is yeah, so another rule is that I must of course keep the count at 5. But the rules are more simple. They don't really deal with numbers that much. Well, I didn't put a ending parentheses, that's fine. Um, but like the bench one doesn't really follow rules, but the showering one it's all I mean it doesn't follow numbers. My showers are all dictated by a count though. Um, and some other like things, but um because it's like I don't have like a routine of my day, but the individual chunks of things I'm doing do have those. Right. So now I'll talk more about oh, and uh, oh wait, I've been using MS Paint a lot lately. Still not an expert, even though I claim to be in one of my videos. I forget which one. Um, if rules broken, count or the count is not at 5. Um, uh, very bad. So basically, what happens is okay. So this is what has happened. I was born, you know, and when I was born, for some reason, God decided that um, I have to keep the whole world in check. It's kind of like let me get a picture really quick. Okay, it's kind of like where's my okay? There's my tab. Like Atlasian. That's what I want to call it because it's like Atlas. Oh, you can just put them into text boxes. That's nice. But um, this is just a drawing I made once of my tarantula. She's holding the world, and that's what I have to do. I have to be Atlas. I have to make sure that everything stays going well because if not, really bad things will happen. Some of the bad things that will happen, I get specific visions about. Um, oh, visions of bad things. Um, spec- visions of specific bad things. I'm using simplistic language for you guys like bad. You know, you guys can understand. Oh, I'm running out of time already. I have 7 minutes left. Okay. I'll hurry up. It might have to be longer than 15 minutes actually, because I haven't even gotten how the numbers work. So this will be the last section. Specific visions of specific bad things that I get. Um, my loved ones dying, getting hurt in terrible ways, um, or like catastrophic accidents, like meteorite strikes. So that's kind of and then there's also just yeah, I'm trying to it's my OCD, I'm sorry. I have to keep everything how I want it to be. Um, right. And then the last one is going to be generic sense of impending doom. Generic sense of impending doom. And the generic sense of impending doom is when I can tell the vibrations are off. And bad things will happen if the vibrations are off in the world because everything, it's all based on that. So this is kind of a summary of it. So now I'm going to talk about like the numbers in depth. So 5 is, as I said above, 5 is oneness and whole and good and God. Um, and then it's like can I not indent? No. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And an indentation is 5 spaces, anyways, right? That I like that. 5 is these things, and 5 is equal to 1 uh, arbitrarily because 1 is like the smallest unit. Um, it's not like 1 is not really special beyond that. Smallest unit in the system. Um, okay, I don't want it to look like that, so we're just going to... There are no decimals in my system. I worry that there will be because every year it's gotten worse and worse, and new rules are added, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. Um, so, if I um, are to brush my finger against something, I will have to do it 4 more times. And sometimes in doing that, other things happen, like my other fingers will touch each other, and then I have to touch them together the amount of times to make it into 5. But it's not always that simple because uh, because not always that simple. 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, different um, different. What do I want to call them? So this is all a ritual. So these are like rites. That's what I'll call them. um, That's not really good terminology, but I'm going to call them rights for the individual things. That's what I'm going to say. Um, Different rights can have different amounts of energy. So energy and qualia. So you can have a... So in this sense, there is kind of decimals, but it's not numerical. It's more, I'll say, vibes based. So you can have like a half of a right, or you can have less than a half or more than a half. You can have a sharp one or a soft one. You can have like a staccato one or a legato one. Um, with that music thing, I should have said a sharp one or a flat one. That'd be good. That'd be funny, right? um, it can be a lot of things. Um, 3, 4, 5 can be represented by lines. Um, uh, so I guess I can like different. Here, I'll show you. So like if we have like a full one, this is what it's gonna look like. This is like a square wave or something, kind of. Then you can have less than one, right? But frequently, less than ones are also soft. I, you know, you can have a sharp one, and if it's a sharp one, then all the rest have to be like self-similar. This is not the right mathematical symbol for that. And if it's a soft one, all the rest have to be self-similar. But if it started as like this perfect archetypal one, it all has to be. And sharps and flats can, and these flats can actually be tall. Flats can be tall. They can be unflat. Sharps and flats kind of have a synergy, um, where they do like to go together because they're the opposites. And sometimes you can like get an uneven one like this. It's just there's a lot of different qualities, and they can also have colors or the ideas of sounds attached. And now I'll talk about some other numbers. And by the way, this sounds... I sound like crazy saying this, but this is literally this has to be in my head at all times. Otherwise, my brother will get into a car accident and die. So it's important stuff, or like the whole world will collapse if I don't keep track of this. And it's kind of tiring, but what am I going to do, right? Um, Sometimes I think I'm a slacker, but no, I'm a hard worker. So, anyways, um, 1, like I said, is equal to 5. So basically, what happens is 5 collapses or gets funneled into 1. Um, well, 5 equals 1, and then 4 plus 5 equals 5. Um, because 5 equals 1, right? Um, and in that sense, 4 is the collapsible numbers. Oh, Thank you for spelling that correctly for me, I guess, MS Paint. 4 is the collapsible number because if I am just feeling anxious and need to just do some of these rights, I can just do sets of 4 and it will just collapse into the 5/1/0 that I already had going on. Because yeah, this 5 collapses into 0. And 0, that's nothingness is everything, right? Okay, I'm at 15 minutes, but we're gonna have to keep going a little bit more. So then if you have a number like 2, 3, 2 and 3, because this is like a base 5 system, but I'm going to use the base 10 numbers. 2 and 3 are 2 and 3 are incomplete, dangerous, uncomfortable, evil. Um, that's kind of true. So if you have 5 plus 2, what you have here is um, what you have here is 7, which is also equal to 3 because 7 has the 5 plus a 2, 5 is 1, there. So it's equal to 7 and 3. 7 is incomplete, 3 is incomplete. So that's not good. But check this out. If the world is at 3, that's going to be bad. But 5 plus 3 equals 8, and 8 is not good, but do you know what 8 collapses into? 8 is 4 plus 4, and 4s are zeros, and that not in that they're whole, but in that they are not a number that gets added to 5. Nothing happens when you add 4. So that's pretty nice. So 5 plus 3 actually, if I'm able to kind of, it takes some effort, but if I have a 5 and I have a 3, like let's do like 1, 2, 3. How do I want to do this? How do I want to represent this? So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have another set of 1, 2, 3, if I try really hard, then I can put in a new boundary there, and then we have 4 and 4, because 5 plus 3 is different than 4 plus 4. So I have to do a little bit of work. I have to like essentially time travel a bit. That being like I have to focus a lot of my energy to be like, wait, I got to rewrite the 5. The 5 is now 4, and then I understand that the 1 that is left over is a part of the 3. So then we have that. And then we have 6 equals 2. That's self-explanatory, right? 7 equals 3. 8 equals 4 plus 4 equals 0. 9 equals 5 equals 1 equals 0 because 9 is 5 plus 4, aka 5 plus 0, aka 5. 9 is a great number. Sometimes I change my username to Yaya9, and the numbers all have like different feelings associated with them, based on like this energy quality or whatever. And so that's how I decide what my username is going to be. If I'm feeling a certain way, I can associate that with a number, and I need to. It feels like correct to look at that number if I'm feeling that way. So, and then the last like number I'll talk about before I'll jump to the important numbers will be 10, and 10 equals 2. But 10, 10, okay, it's so stupid because it's so mathematical and logical and rules based, and yet there are some exceptions where 10 it feels okay. It's not correct, but it feels okay. I must just be like a fan of 10, I'm a 10 fan. So sometimes 10 is okay, whereas like 6 sometimes can feel okay. 7 does not ever feel okay, but 10 definitely feels okay. Probably because my brain normally works in our base 10 system. I'm gonna extend our canvas down to add more important stuff. This is important, right? Um, this might be kind of a boring video visually, but this is a very boring, this is just a very matter-of-fact topic. This is obviously just normal, flat, straightforward rules, right? Okay. So now I'll skip to some good ones. So 15, right? 15 equals 3, right? Because it's 5 plus 5 plus 5. Oh, okay. Plus 5. However, 15 also equals 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And for this reason, it is, again, feels not even okay. That one feels good. And that, because it's kind of like, this is sequential, this is sequential funneling, funneling. And sequences and funnels. Funnels are very good. Like for the funnel from 5 to 1 to 0 and the funnel from 4 to 0, like those are good. And this is a funnel, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's why 25 is a good one, because it's 5 squared. I think that's self-explanatory. 125 is equals 5 cubed. That's good. 20, look at this. This 20 is an incredible number. 20 equals 5 times 4. So it's oh man. So if you imagine 4 as a a elementary unit. Oh, that's the new spelling of unit, everybody. As an elementary unit, then you have 5 of them, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine 4 as 0, then nothing has changed. And then you can look at 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead, pay attention to 5. See that it happens 4 times, which means AKA 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing has changed. So that's just kind of like, I guess that's a kind of good example of the number system here. Yeah, like I said, it gets more convoluted than this. And once you add in like the different energy and stuff, and kind of like the geometric aspect, the visual aspect, it gets a lot more complicated than this. And I can't really go more than a few seconds without completing these tasks, because the world is imperfect. The world was created imperfectly. And because of that, everything always gets messed up all the time. I'll talk briefly about, I won't write for it, I'll just talk about the letters and words, and I'll like, here to be more interesting, I'll like circle things for you guys or something. Or I can show it in this, right? Okay. So if I'm like in class, right? A lot of times I'll be doing like long division. That's my favorite task to do. But if I'm paying attention and I'm looking at this, I have to be paying attention. Let's look at one with just, okay, no numbers. The number's kind of complicated. So what I would have to do is be like, okay, 5. Okay, 5, right? You got to count these instances of 5. And depending on like what it ends at, basically the remainder here is important. So if the remainder is 0 or 4, it's like, wow. But in this, 4 isn't quite as good as 0. For some reason, there's like different levels of it. So this is kind of what's going on in my head. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. We have a remainder of 0. Also, another thing is I have to create these curves with my mind's eye here. and the qualities of these curves can are kind of relevant to these lines. So this one was just kind of like, this is just like a convex, kind of a parabola. But some of them can become more complex. Like this one is going to be really sharp. And then look at this. It's going to go like this. And this one probably can't, it's probably not going to be able to be sharp enough to come back up. So it will end like this. And so these have energies in the same way as a right has energy. So I have to pay attention to that. And sometimes, yeah, instead of counting the letters, I'm counting sets of 5 words. So this is, and so here's the thing. Sometimes with the words, I have to make a decision. And the decision, I don't know, it's hard to make it. So like, is this 1 word or 2 words? That'll be 2. But now check this out. So we're just going to count the rest of these words, and we'll see. We will 1, 2, 3. I'm okay. So we'll just keep going in this manner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3. So we have a remainder of 3, which is not good. But check this out. I'm is actually I am. So we could split that into another word, and then I would have to like re-segment this. But now it's 4, and as we know, 4 is good. So this is kind of what I'm doing when I'm looking at text. This is kind of a background process. And then some of the rules that I have, like I will explain the bike rule, and then I'll explain some shower rules, because those are the 2 different types. So the bike rule, right? A leg of the bike path, which is defined by it, the boundaries are roads that cars can go on. In the direction I am biking, if I have to pass anyone on foot that is going the same direction as me, I'm not allowed to sit at any bench in that leg. Even if it's at the beginning and the next bench is like a mile away, I'm not allowed to, because sometimes they have logic, like, and this one has logic, like what if that person walks by me, then it's too long of them walking by me. Like a cyclist, they're speeding by you, but a walker, even a runner, is too long. And then when I pass the bench, it has to be, do I actively feel at this time very tired? But the issue is very tired is qualitative. And so there's kind of a quick interrogation slash questioning process to myself to see, am I actually tired, or do I just want to sit down? And you would think maybe sitting down means you're tired, but no, it's not like mental, it's physical tiredness. And then so because of this, these different things work together to make some really stupid situations where I should have just sat at this bench, or times where I shouldn't have sat at the bench, but I had to. And normally, by the way, if I'm deciding if I'm tired or not, and I'm unsure, it's better to be not tired, because it's better to not take action than to take action when you're unsure of something. And then for the shower, this is a brief rundown. Well, a long time ago, in the first season of Good Mythical Morning, there's an episode, or maybe it's a Good Mythical More, called like Link's OCD shower routine. And I was always like, oh wow, that's kind of, and I've been a GMM fan for like over a dozen years, a dozen years give or take. So I knew about this before I had my OCD diagnosis, and I was like, wow, that kind of sounds like me. So basically, I go into the shower, I have the knobs of the shower, to turn on the water. There's 2 of them, and then I will turn, so basically, the one on the left will turn until it's almost all the way complete, and then the other one will turn like the amount that was left of that. And if I don't get these right, I have to respin them so many times. Sometimes it can be, I'm there 20 times respinning it. It's terrible. Oh, and other fears I just remembered are stuff like mold growing. That's really a bad fear. It's really obnoxious that I have to stand there and just turn the knob over and over and over again until the quality of what I've done is good enough. Sometimes you have to just accept that good enough, perfect is not going to happen. You will just get good enough. And that's difficult with this rigorous number system. But then I keep in mind all the times that I've done good enough will kind of probably average out. Probably a standard deviation thing. It'll average out to this one central 0, And then when I'm in the shower, it's like, it's all like in a specific order, of course, but then it's like there's numbers attached to like, oh, how many times with the washcloth will I rub my left shoulder, you know? And if you calculate it all out, which it would be kind of too many numbers for me to just go over right now, it'll come to this nice whole number, that type of thing. And then when I'm drying myself with the towel again, it's kind of like, it's numerical. So that was kind of just, I wanted to make a video that people can actually watch about the OCD. And yeah, this is probably the most in-depth I've ever explained this aloud. This is what I'm thinking about at least 20 times a minute since, we'll just say 5 seconds. 5 is such a nice number. Sometimes I get freaked out because I think maybe 5 is not that special, and it's only special to me because we have 5 fingers. Um, that really upsets me because in my mind, 5 is God, right? 5 is good, 5 is God. Um, but yeah, so I have to do this constantly. It's tiring, but I don't know any other way to live. But I assume it's less tiring to live without having to count constantly and in a complex, stupid way to keep the world from being destroyed. So, thank you for watching.